Should England football players be taking the knee at Euros 2021? Okay, so yeah, been in the news the last couple of days. Should the England players be taking the knee at the European Championships? I'll just put it into context for those of you that are not aware about this. Basically, last year when the football season started again after it had been cancelled through the first lockdown, it was around the same time as the George Floyd murder, and a lot of the players, well, all the players really in the Premier League, as a show of respect, started to take the knee before the whistle. And this has been continuing throughout the whole season, whole of last year. Every single football match they've been taking the knee, and we're about to start the European Championships. For those of you that don't know and not into the football world, it's basically the same as the Football World Cup, but it's just European nations, and it's a massive deal in this country, the same as any football tournament. And they want to continue with this ritual that they've been doing in the Premier League throughout this whole season. We had a warm-up friendly the other day, and we're now starting to have fans in the stadium. So throughout the last year we haven't had fans in the stadium. It's been closed doors, and we're starting to finally get fans back in the stadium. And England had a warm-up match. The tournament starts this Friday actually. They had a warm-up match, and this happened. So as you can see there, a load of booing from the fans. Well, I say the fans, a section of the fans, which is obviously disgusting, and we don't condone this. But we'll talk about some of the reasons why they're booing and why I'm trying to negotiate this road here to get out. Does this guy let me through? Yeah, he's letting me through. Okay, cool. Yeah, so we'll talk about some of these issues, why they're booing, reasons for why they're booing. But first of all, I just want to say I like to think of my channel as a place for open discussion, and my comment section as a place for open, grown-up discussion, where we can openly talk about different views on either side, and be happy to talk about these things. I'm always completely and utterly honest in my videos. I don't try and take some side because I believe that's the left wing side or something. I just tell you what I feel about things. And I have to be honest, when this started last summer, I was not a fan. Mainly because I don't think it works, and it does more damage than good, but I'll get onto that later. But mainly I don't like my football mixing with politics. I think in this world where we got such a barrage of news and current affairs and things that are going on, and constant politics in the news, COVID, where it's stressful, you're constantly bombarded with COVID and death, and I think everyone needs a safe escape where they can go, and sport was always mine. Football's, obviously I wouldn't have this channel if I didn't care about politics and current events, but I think it's healthy for mental health to have a place where you can go, where I can just watch a football match for 90 minutes and just have football, and this happened, like I said, with the George Floyd murder, which was absolutely disgusting. It was all over the news. I was engrossed in it. I was appalled at what happened, and I was watching all the different news articles exploring this topic. And then the football season started, and I was, oh, great, finally I can have a bit of an escape from this for 90 minutes. And then the first football match comes on, and this starts, and it's not the knee that I have a problem with. 2 seconds before the whistle, the player's knee, but it's not just that. It's turned into where you go onto Sky Sports and you've got a 30-minute segment about racism before the match. You've got the pundits on the panel talking about racism. You've got them taking the knee. You've got Black Lives Matter banner across the top of the screen throughout the whole match. It's just bombarded with this stuff, and I want 90 minutes of football to be able to escape. I can get that news if I want it. I know where to go. And it's the same reason that people got annoyed when they started crowbarring in politics into Star Wars and movies and stuff like Hollywood movies. People know where to go if they want to delve into politics and news. They go to the news channels, but people need their escape. They need their movies, and they need to have somewhere where they can just escape all of that. And for me, it's football, and that's one of the reasons why I wasn't too keen on it, really. And also some of it's quite hypocritical, because Sky Sports, Rupert Murdoch owned, come on. I mean, this is why whenever I watch a programme on Sky Sports about racism, you know, a channel that's owned by Rupert Murdoch, I'm like, you do not give two shits about this. And also it's even snuck into Formula One now, which is an absolute joke. Anyone that knows the sport of Formula One knows that it is not anywhere near a sport about equality. It's a rich man's sport, Formula One. You have to be rich to even drive in Formula One. It's the only sport where people actually pay to drive. Imagine that in football. Imagine that in the Premier League. A billionaire goes to Chelsea and go, right, I'm going to inject 200 million into your bank account, but you've got to start my son at centre forward every Saturday. It doesn't work. But in Formula One, that's what it's about. So for them to try and spread the word of equality and fairness and you know, races have all the chances. No, it's bollocks, and it's hypocritical, and no one can take it seriously from a sports channel. Anyway, I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here, but I guess the point that I'm trying to make is that I said I don't think it works, and the sheer fact that people are booing it proves that. We'll go on to the reasons why, but just the sheer bombardment of this stuff every single time you turn the TV on, racism, and I understand that it's a massive problem and we should fight racism, but I don't think it works being bombarded with our differences every single time you turn on the TV. We're different. You're white, you're black. We're different. Racism. I actually always hark back to if anyone's seen the interview with Morgan Freeman. I'll put it up here. Actually, I'll find it and I'll put it up.
Black History Month you find
ridiculous.
Why?
You're going to relegate my history to a month?
Oh, come on.
What do you do with yours? Which month is White History Month? No, come on, tell me.
Well, I'm Jewish.
Okay, which month is Jewish History Month?
There isn't one.
Oh, why not?
Yeah.
Do you want one?
No.
I don't either. I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history.
How are we going to get rid of racism?
Stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man. I know you as Mike Wallace, you know me as Morgan Freeman.
So basically, I think the message that he's basically trying to get over there is just stop talking about our differences. Stop calling him a black man. Call him, he is Morgan Freeman. Don't just associate him with the colour of his skin. And I just don't think that being bombarded with this every single time you turn on the news, turn on the TV, is helping. Now, I know that there is issues with racism within the sport and they need to be combated, and this is what I'm saying. I just don't think the knee works. Okay, there is racism in football and it's disgusting. It's definitely hasn't got problems with representation in footballing, because black players certainly get a chance in football, and they're our best players, and they make up about half the team. So it's not a problem with representation. Black and ethnic players get their chance. If you're good, football's one of those sports that if you're good, you play, regardless of where you're from, what background. It's not like Formula One. If you're a good footballer, you play. The problem is social media. Like many of our problems in this world, that is where the racism is coming from. It's pretty much stamped out in the stadiums now. Okay, sometimes you go to other countries abroad, and England have had problems with playing other teams where there's been racist chants, but in this country it happens extremely rarely in the stadium. But online, on Twitter, it happens every single day, and this is the arena that I think we need to fight racism in football. Twitter. If all the players boycotted Twitter, what a statement that would make. I think that would go much more further than taking the knee. Boycott Twitter until they sort out this platform where racism is rife on their platform. Get all the players to boycott it. And I'm not down with this message that, oh, you know, the modern day players need Twitter and social media to promote themselves. Bollocks. These guys are on 100 grand a week. Okay, they can do without Twitter. They don't need to promote themselves on Twitter. Boycott it. Chase these guys down on social media the best you can, and give them serious fines, lifelong bans from ever attending a football match. All this sort of stuff, I think, is the way that we need to fight this. So why are people booing? And there's a couple of reasons. Some I understand, some I don't. But let's get this straight, like I said from the start, I don't condone anyone booing. The same reason I wouldn't condone a vegan going into McDonald's and booing people for eating a burger. If you don't agree with what they're doing, it doesn't mean you need to openly discourage. And also, it doesn't help the team, does it? I want England to win this bloody tournament. I don't want them, as soon as the match starts, thinking, oh shit, they're all booing, maybe we should. No, I need them in full concentration on the game. But yeah, there's a couple of reasons why people are booing this, and one of them is, I mean, this one's stupid because, and this is what the likes of Nigel Farage and stuff have come out and said recently, which is just absolutely ridiculous, that, you know, the connotations with Black Lives Matter, the political movement, that's what he's trying to shove down, that they're basically promoting Black Lives Matter as a political movement which have their ties with communism and such, which is rubbish. Harry Kane is not a communist. Okay, I can tell you this right now. The only reason they're doing what they're doing is because they want to make aware of racism, which is fine. I just slightly disagree about the way you're going about it, but that's what they're doing. They're not doing it to promote Black Lives Matter as a political organisation. No, they're not. They're there to support their black colleagues, their black friends, their black players against the fight against racism. But mainly, I just think they're booing for the reasons that I just gave before. I think people are just sick of being bombarded with this racism. Football fans just always being constantly accused of being racist, and of course there are racist football fans, but it is the minority. It's a small, sick and twisted minority that hide themselves away on Twitter, and you're tarring everyone with the same brush, and that's why I think people are just getting sick of it. And if it did just stay to just taking the knee, I don't think anyone would have a problem with it. But it's just the constant, you know, like I say, 30-minute segments before a game just discussing racism all the time. And I just think we need to celebrate what unites us, the football, rather than just constantly talking about this divide. And I think about young kids as well that are just constantly seeing this all the time. Kids don't even know about racism when they're kids. They just know people, they know friends. But they're watching the football, they're like, oh, what's all this about? Well, you know, people are racist, people are racist. Are they? Oh shit. I don't know. These are my thoughts. I know this one's going to be divisive. I know there's going to be a lot of difference of opinion on here, but keep it civil in the comment section. Comment below as always, but just remember that we're not racist here. We just maybe have different opinions on how to combat racism. You know, I can see if you agree with all this, but I don't. I think there's better ways of tackling it, but the main point is we want to tackle it. We all want to tackle it. Anyway, let's just this is my thing. Let's concentrate on the football this summer. Let's get our heads out of COVID, out of this mess, and enjoy a beautiful football tournament. And hopefully all this nonsense and booing will go away, but we'll see. I just want England to win. That's all I want. Until next time. Bye bye.